is it like 402 deadlift, and he got everyone around him. They used to have like, when I first moved up there, they used to have like meets there. And it used to be a bit of a pain in the arse because half the gym was taken up by
That's the thing. In a big gym like that, you can't do a powerlifting.
Yeah, but in terms of the actual powerlifting side, I think it's fucking class for it. You know, people there screaming, shouting. It was a proper like event in a gym, which I've never seen before. Obviously, it pissed off the bodybuilders, but for the powerlifters, it was great. So yeah, you know, it's not just everyone thinks it's bodybuilding, but you've got some fucking guys in there that are very, very strong powerlifters, and it's just as motivating. Even I'm not into that sort of thing, but I am motivated by someone who can squat or deadlift 400 kilos or something like that. Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. Yeah. Crazy amount of weight on your back or whatever. So, yeah, you'll notice that today. There will be people in there that are like, okay, he's fucking stronger than me.
Somebody told me, was it you, Matt, that you heard somewhere that when you go in there and you look at Cuba, he's not necessarily the peak of size and in that gym. Apparently there's some massive people in that gym.
Yeah, I usually would train between 1 and 4, which are called the pro hours.
Pro hours,
I call it.
Yeah, when everyone's in work.
I call it mainly on the weekdays. It's busier for the pros, but the weekend you will see. Oh, there's Neil Curry. He's prepping for the Olympia this year. It's fucking nuts. First time I ever spoke to him, he just walked out the shower, bollock naked, cock out. I was like, fuck, he's got a fucking sword in him. You know, like I was like, and I spoke to him. I was like, mate, just congratulations for you know, and you got like sometimes you see Rob Taylor come in there and he's like the same height as me, 212. You think, fucking hell, you think he's a big guy, and obviously Cuba. You got Nath Styles, who in his off season is like 330 pounds. You know, it's
James the Giant. Yeah,
I've seen him in there a few times. He is ridiculously big, bigger than what you would imagine. So yeah, you know, and I'll be honest with you, like I've got to a point now where it's quite funny. This, like when I was in my prep, I can kind of tell when someone's on cycle versus when someone's not on cycle. You kind of know who's on gear and who's not on gear. And majority of people in Ultraflex are on gear, no doubt about it.
I can't tell. See, I've been telling Martha this before. Like I still have a feeling that some people are. Everyone's like, nah, he's on gear. I still feel like, oh, maybe he's natty. I don't know. Like don't assume. He says he's natty. And our last episode was actually on fake natties because. I don't know, it's just we have a little thing about it, to be honest.
We sort of hinted at you in our Fake Natties episode. I said in the episode, I was like, if only there was someone we could get on who's a very transparent guy and speaks about steroids.
And by that, he didn't mean we think you're a fake natty.
No, if I look like this fucking enhanced, I'd be, give me a couple of years, but if I look like this now, enhanced, I'd be fucking giving up ages ago. With you. Yeah, I'll be getting refunds with all the test I bought.
So you've touched on this now.
Are we getting into this now?
Yeah, I think this is the big juicy, excuse the pun, big juicy subject that I think everyone is wondering about you now. Obviously, for everyone that doesn't know, George has now gone down the assisted route after a long sort of career being natural. You've also recently left your coach AJ as well. I was shocked by that. When I saw that post, I was like, shit. Because obviously, is it Callum Rose-Strick? Is your coach now? So yeah, you've gone enhanced. So for anyone that doesn't know, George has now gone down the assisted route.
The dark side.
We've had people who have been on steroids before on our show, and we didn't really dig into it because I feel very comfortable talking to you because you are an open book, and you've said this on your YouTube channel. You know, you've shown what you've done. You've been very, very, very transparent about it, which is something I respect a lot. You know, you've shown the syringes, you've shown how to do it, you've shown what you're using. So I just want to ask, what's it like? Honestly, what is it like?
Well, I want to say first of all, like, let's take into consideration I'm only on a TRT dosage at the moment, so I'm not on any crazy amounts of gear. The second thing is I've just finished a 31-week prep as well, so realistically, just without the drugs, I'm going to be feeling 10 times better with more food, less diet fatigue. But in terms of how it feels, you feel... I've got to a point now, this is just coming into... I'm 3.5 weeks on cycle now, and it's kicking in. You feel full, like I sit here and I'm just like, you know, hard, a lot harder than what I have been before. Your sex drive goes skyrocketing, like painful boners I've had so far, in the sense that I wake up and I'm just like, this fucking hurts. Like, it reminds me of being about 16 again. You know, you get a painful boners when you're a kid. My sex drive's through the roof. I had this moment the other day where I felt like absolutely invincible. And this is the scary thing about steroids
This is the one thing that scares me, because I know once I get that feeling, that's it. I'm going for it.
and especially a big lad like you know, you could fucking, like, I felt the other day, if there was like 3 people in front of me with knives, whatever, I feel like I could take them on and fucking and do them all. It makes you feel like you will be invincible. And the strength progressions in the gym, I've obviously, the food, the body weight, but I've had, 20 kilos on deadlift in the space of like 6 days is 15 kilo. I started off with the 45 kilo dumbbell on a single arm dumbbell row. I did like for 10 or whatever it was, 12, and I did 60 for 15 in about 6 days.
That is mental.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking mental.
I'd be intrigued to see like how much my bench will go up. Probably get 4 plates in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, how much are you doing now?
I could push up 140 now.
Yeah, you probably.
So probably in like
I'd probably
2 weeks.
In the first 4 weeks, you'd be by bench at 160 with these.
Oh,
100%.
The thing is, and obviously there's a completely different side to steroids when you're in a competitive scene. But for me personally, I think if I'm not going to compete, do I think that's a fast track? Do I want to just jump up to 160 bench, or am I going to feel, shit, that was easy?
How long have you been doing it for? You've been doing it for a while, haven't you?
I've been training for a few years, on and off. I haven't like had that focus. This is the first time when I'm actually training for a competition, because I'm actually competing. So it's kind of been, I've been training for years though. Like I started training before I even had a gym membership, because I was like 12 years old. So like 8 years, but on and off, But I just don't know if I want to, because I have a very addictive personality. Like I feel like once I get into it, that's it. And then once I get off it, I'll be like, I'll have that itch, I want to get back to it.
Yeah, it all really stems on where your priorities in life lie. Like I always say to people, like, if you're not competing, if you don't make a living from this shit, don't fucking bother doing it. It's not worth it.
The health risks.
It's not worth it. Yeah, the health risks, the constant. Like now, I can't think about going anywhere without my syringes, my needles, my wipes, I'm taking 25 pills a day at the moment. It's a lot of drugs to be taking. I have to take loads of things. I'm doing my blood pressure every single day, my blood glucose every day. It's a long.
But that's the necessary, because I'm sure a lot of people, it could be easy enough just to pin a needle and then move on with your life. But there's a risk that comes with that probably, right?
And I think with me as well, I am OTT when it comes to looking after myself. Like I probably don't need to take my blood pressure every single day. I mean,
no.
But if I'm doing things like this, I'm doing things like it's like when I've been drunk before, I've always got home to my bed. I've never been blackout drunk. I'm not like to a point where I don't know what I'm doing. I always want to, know where my limits are. And even when I take recreational drugs, I won't get to the point where I'm fucked off of it. Like, fuck. I'll just do what I need to do and then have a good night and that's it. But the thing with steroids is just, the immediate effect. Like right now, 3.5 weeks or so, I felt after 8 months of prep, it took me 8 months to recover naturally from 2019. I felt the exact same after 2 weeks on being on gear. 2 weeks feeling completely normal, which is scary.
I saw that because you said I've kind of fast-tracked about 6 months worth of getting back to my normal sort of feeling. That's crazy.
And I'm not going to say the good thing about steroids, there's nothing good about it, but with taking, for example, steroids, and like you can control your thyroid. Like if your thyroid's in the gutters, like most people, a lot of, especially females, have underlying thyroid issues.
Yeah.
The assisted side of things allows you to actually manage your thyroids the way you want it. So
same
with like and a lot of people wonder why I'm on 150 milligrams a test, which is TRT. But my blood work when I was natural was 3 nanomoles, which is equivalent to a 7-year-old boy. So when I had my call with, because I go through the blood lab, and the blood lab, they give you like a consult afterwards. And the normal range for most males naturally is between 9 nanomoles and 32 nanomoles. So me being at 3 is obviously a lot lower than the average person. He was like to me, I don't know how you function. Don't know how you actually function in your life. So that's why I'm using a very little amount, because right now I can bump mine up to the higher end of the natural range, like I have done, and see no negatives in terms of side effects. I've had no side effects so far, none at all. The only thing that I've noticed is just I sometimes sweat quite profusely. Especially towards the back end of prep, because obviously hormones are so fucked, you don't sweat at all. Like I would be the hottest day of the year, I'd be training legs in Ultraflex, which is like a hot fucking shed, wouldn't break a sweat.